I told her that I was coming tonight, and she wanted me to express how efficient and calm everybody was in getting them out of the airport and into rooms.
Yeah.
I had just spent 5 days here, and I was at the airport in Louisville, checked in at the gate for my Southwest airline flight to Tampa, and my flight was on time. I had just spoken to, well, in fact, I just called my husband and said, the flight's on time, we're leaving on time, everything is good, we'll board in just a couple of minutes. And then came the announcement that our flight was delayed, and I told him the flight's delayed, and almost immediately the flight's canceled. So I was telling him this as it was going on in real time, and then the next thing was the airport is closing. Well, in 2001, there were no television screens back at the gates, so nobody at the gates had a clue what was going on. We didn't really know. He had to tell me, and we didn't really know until we got up to the food court, and the TVs were on up there. It was creepy. It was just really a creepy time.
Yeah, and it's
But
been so
again,
long ago.
like your friend, just very organized, nobody panicked, everybody was just doing what they needed to do. Luckily, I got my rental car back.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
That's the first thing I told her. Run back
Run,
to the gate.
Get a rental car. No, my friend Joe, Iser, working Beckley, and we got him out, and the supervisor did, and him and I went to 3.5 years of training, just side by side. It took 3.5 years to become, where nobody would watch you could do anything, from working airplanes. And Joe, he got sick. He'd come to work, and never worked airplanes. They'd put him in the training department, and he just got sick, and he was like 40. How old? No, he was in his 30s, like 38, and he died a year later, just of sickness. It really, really bothered him. But it would, he did everything possible. I don't know, some people take it different, but it was hard on us.
Mark, I had a nephew that was in the building with you that day, air traffic controller at the Indianapolis Center. The building's so big you wouldn't know them, everybody that works there?
Yeah, we have 6 areas, and I knew most of the people.
Brad Walters?
Walters?
Brad Walters. He worked all day that day, air traffic control. He was a supervisor, I think.
Now, you know that name, don't you? Was he at Indy Center or Indy Tire?
The center.
The center. Oh, I lived in that center.
Yeah.
Brad Walters, huh? Wonder why. He must have been in like the area 6 or area 7.
I told my wife when he was coming down here, I said, wonder what center Mark worked in that day.
I lived in that center. We built that new center. But Brad Walters, how come?
Yeah.
I think he might have been an area 7 high altitude supervisor. Was he a supervisor?
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah. See, we had 24/7 schedules. I would never see people in the crew 7 for years. It could be 4 or 5 years because I worked different days than my RDO's days off. So yeah, there's people in the center that I didn't see for years till I rotated into them.
Okay, yeah. Well, I know that's the reason why I was asking you about how long the Irish worked. I think he was in there forever.
I was in there for a day at least.
Yeah.
I'd have to look that up now, but no, right off the bat, I knew. Here's so funny about air traffic control. There was 11,500, and that's in every little tire, Evansville and all that, and centers. There was 12 centers. Center has most of the controllers because we control bigger airspace. And Ron Birchler, my first line supervisor, when I went into work, was from Tell City. Some of the older people might know the Birchlers. Ron Birchler was helping me. And then there was a Wheatley in training. He went to the flight service station option, which is what you file flight plans with. And then Ed Gillick, what was his name? The Gillick, the funeral home director, Mr. Gillick's son.
Joe.
Was it Joe?
Joe. Bruce.
Mike, there's Mike.
No, Mike, it wasn't Mike, it was Joel. And he was the air traffic controller at Jacksonville Center. Now you got Ron Birchler, Gillick, myself, Wheatley, and then Ron Crawford's niece was a controller in Jacksonville Center. Not during 9/11, but there's 5 people from Tell City that are controllers, and everybody talked about it. And then Larry, I remember they said, what makes you guys, I said, well, I grew up with the Niehouses and the Clemens and the Marshall, and you'd be at Grandma and Grandpa, they all be talking, and you were just required to hear them all. So, or you get your ears boxed. If somebody told you to do something and you didn't hear it, so really, and part of being air traffic control, you got to hear and know what's going on around you. And I said, Tell City is good for that.
Well, okay, go ahead.
What really amazed me at the time, Mark said that one of the top guys came into the center to take over. I don't know whether he was a general or what he was.
The military.
And
Yeah.
he knew everything that was going on. And to have them right there, and how many, do they do it to all the centers?
Oh yeah, all the centers. And major like East Coast, the Tracons and all that. But since we controlled all them, they come in. Yeah, he was there at 7. Well, the first one hit at 8:05. I don't. It's amazing how much. I think he come from Grissom Air Force Base, but the knowledge he had of our facility, I'd never seen him there before. He knew, you know, and he run the Stefan too. I argued with him a little bit on that, especially that Jasper guy, you know, and well, he let us know that, no, you don't question me. It's like the military. Okay, whatever he says, go. Did you say?
I was just relating to the story she was telling me about where she was at. That morning, my wife and I were in San Diego, and I was getting ready to pack and go to the San Diego airport to head back, and we got shut down, and immediately, you know, San Diego's a naval town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Navy bases everywhere, and it's a ghost town. The normal morning traffic is, you know, 5 lanes in each direction, just bumper to bumper, and it's a ghost town. The Navy, it just got shut down. Anyway, we immediately, you know, couldn't get a flight, and so I started trying to rent a car to get back to Tell City, and they had shut down all one-way rentals. We couldn't find a rental. I sat there in the hotel for 2 hours calling rental companies, and when I would say I wanted a one-way rental, like, nope. Finally, I found a big old van, and we drove for 3 straight days to get back to Perry County. Quite an event.
But go ahead.
I was working at Langley that morning, that day that happened,
Wow.
and it was amazing.